Hey, what's up, everyone? Morning Croson here, and today we're going to be doing a comparison video of Dylan Raiola, the quarterback from Nebraska, and Patrick Mahomes, the quarterback from the Chiefs, and just going in depth into some of the things that they do very similarly, as well as some of the differences within their throw. There's a lot of people that are comparing Dylan Raiola to Patrick Mahomes just because they wear the same number, about the same size, they work with the same quarterback coach, so there's a lot of similarities there. But today we're going to be looking at those similarities as well as some of the differences. And so first we have Raiola here, and I have kind of a cool thing. We're going to kind of overlay this a little bit here. First thing that stands out when we're watching Raiola go through the throw is he's pretty low with the football. I mean, we see Mahomes do this occasionally as well, but typically when he's going through the throw, he's very quick. When we're talking about Mahomes, he's pretty quick at coming upwards with the football, where we can see Raiola keeps the ball pretty low the whole time. We'll take a look at what his release is, 28.19 from when the ball comes or starts going through the process. Gets the ball out at about 5.6, a little bit longer of a release, closer to like 0.36, 0.37. I don't think he's trying to necessarily get the ball out of his hands really quickly as well on this throw, though. He also really keeps that elbow low below the shoulder. He still does a good job of releasing the ball out in front of him, but I think there's a lot of things that can improve based off of that. Then we'll take a look at Mahomes, and kind of a similar situation here. I think he's putting a little bit more on the ball, but notice how he's starting off with the ball kind of low. He goes straight up, though, as the ball is coming forward. So we can kind of overlay these here. So you can see with Raiola, he's going a little bit more kind of back and then dropping the elbow down, where we can see with Mahomes, he's going more kind of straight up with the elbow with the football and getting that elbow through. There are times, obviously, where he doesn't have the ball as high. Like here's one here. It's hard to see this throw, but to me, it looks like he ends up kind of releasing the ball a little bit more kind of lower with the elbow, a little bit more across there. But it seems like he is just coming across a lot during his release. And even when you watch how he releases, like typically, like when I release a football, and like a lot of people, we release like this, but he kind of keeps it more like that as the ball's coming out of his hand. He never really turns the wrist over. He just kind of goes, and I mean, he has a flick, but he kind of goes across with the football. I'm not necessarily saying that that's right and like what you're doing is wrong. It's just something that he does in his throw, and I think that makes it so he's able to come across so much and still maintain a lot of accuracy. Because when we're watching Raiola, I'm going to go ahead and separate this. When you watch Raiola throw, he isn't always accurate, right? That's the main thing that I would say with him now. And Raiola is a little bit more kind of stagnant with his feet. I mean, you could tell he's trying to process things and get the ball out of his hands, but he definitely ends up getting stuck sometimes trying to make decisions. So you can see he's here, and then kind of you can see with that elbow dropping and keeping all that weight forward, he's very quick in getting all of his weight forward. Then this is where you have a tendency to be able to sail the football. This is the common mistake that I see with people that end up having more of that elbow drop, is the issue with being consistently accurate, where going back to this, what we see with Mahomes, when watching him and studying him, he just does such a great job of being able to work the pocket, going up, following his lineman. He's definitely not in the same position for a very long period of time. And then he does a good job of being able to get that elbow up and through and get that full extension as the ball is coming out of his hands. And he comes, again, a lot more across with his release, right? Where typically we'll see people that are going to go more kind of forward as the ball is coming out of their hands. Here's a video that I like of Raiola, where he does a good job of being able to get that arm up. The things that stand out to me is like he's pretty close with his base. Again, he just isn't very active with his feet. Right now, it seems like he has a pretty good O-line, so he can kind of sit in the pocket, at least in this game against Purdue. He's not nearly as active as you see CJ Stroud, who I just did a breakdown on, Patrick Mahomes, some of these elite quarterbacks that do just such a great job of being able to work the pocket and understand what's going on within the rush. And obviously, Raiola is still really young. He still has a lot of time to be able to develop and understand and get better with some of these things. And that's what the Division One kind of developmental side of it's supposed to do, is make it so you can get a better understanding, a better feel for what you want to be doing during games, to make it so then you can, be the best quarterback you could be. So yeah, hopefully this ends up helping you guys and gives you some insight into some of the similarities between Patrick Mahomes and Dylan Raiola, some of the good things that they're both doing within their throw and ways that they can implement it into their mechanics. And what I would just do is make sure that you take some of this stuff and really try to apply it, right? Look at some of the differences in what you're seeing in Raiola, what you're seeing in Mahomes. Maybe there's some things that apply more to you, right? A little bit wider base is something that like Mahomes had. We saw Caleb Williams has that. We even saw Jane Daniels has a good solid wide base, where Dylan Raiola a little bit less of a wide base, a little bit taller base. We also can consider the wrist flick. We can consider the release and what we're doing with the elbow. I think it's important to be able to look at some of these top quarterbacks because, you know, everybody wants to talk about Dylan Raiola is like copying Patrick Mahomes. It wants to be Patrick Mahomes, blah, blah, blah. And there may be some degree of truth to that, but I also believe, I don't know Raiola, so I couldn't tell you for sure, but I believe that he wants to be his own person. You know, he wants to be the best version of himself that he could be. And part of that probably went into studying Mahomes. Why would you not study Mahomes if you wanted to be the best, right? Mahomes right now is the best. You could say Josh Allen, you could say CJ Stroud, you could say Lamar Jackson, but still, that's going to be within the top athletes or the top quarterbacks in the world, right? And so maybe you have more of a throwing style like Josh Allen, or maybe you have more of a throwing style like CJ Stroud. The point is, you want to be able to study that and understand it so then you can implement that into your game. So the fact that he's doing that, to me, I don't think that's a knock at all. The fact that he's studying Patrick Mahomes, working with his quarterback coach, getting that information, because that just shows that he wants to be the best, which is really something that you should want to do as well. You should want to study the best and see what they're doing so then you can implement that into your own game, because that's what really is going to define who you end up being as a quarterback. If you're not going and learning from the top people, then you're not going to be amongst the top people. Football doesn't need a completely revolutionary new quarterback throwing style, right? We need somebody that is able to, and for you to have the most success, you kind of have to fit within the systems of the NFL and with football to make it so then you could be successful. So if you're trying to do something totally outlandish, obviously you're probably not if you're watching this video, but the point being, if you're doing something that's not within kind of that scope, then it's going to be hard to fit you into an offense because that's what football has been built around. So, point being is make sure that you're studying these top quarterbacks and understanding what they're doing to make it so then you could apply that to your own game and make it so then you could be more valuable for college coaches, high school coaches, you know, professional coaches, so on and so forth. So, the idea is how can we get better at doing the things that the top quarterbacks already do: footwork, release time, the velocity, the power, the ability to be consistently accurate. All those things you could find out and study and be better at by watching these videos, subscribing to the channel, liking the video, and also checking out Quarterback University. So thanks for watching.